Close. Close, close, close. But that's what happens when you let up a 10-run inning in the second. Phillies lose to the Braves. While the Braves avoid the sweep, we did end up winning the series 2-1. But we did lose yesterday's game 12-10. Yes, you heard me right. The Braves had a 10-run inning in the second. Absolutely awful by Arrieta. He went 1 1/3 with 6 hits, 7 earned, 3 walks, bringing his ERA to a 6.49 ERA on the season. He looked awful, and, can't really complain because Malone on the Braves only pitched 2 1/3. But Arrieta did end up getting the loss. David Hale could not get the job done. He pitched 1 2/3, allowing 3 earned. In his first action with the Phillies. I don't know how he went this long without getting into the game, but he didn't. So he pitched 1 2/3, allowing 3 earned. Reggie McClain came in, pitched 1 inning, allowed 1 run, 2 hits, got 1 strikeout. Yes, by the way, Arrieta and Hale did not get a single strikeout. So it took 4 innings to get our first strikeout. Can't happen. Jojo Romero came in. He had a strikeout, pitched 2/3 of an inning. Blake Parker pitched 1 1/3, had 3 strikeouts, allowing 1 hit. Velasquez came in, walked 3 batters, allowed 1 hit and 2 strikeouts. Heath Hembry came in, allowed 1 earned run to Dansby Swanson in the 9th. Kind of was the decision maker. And then Adam Morgan came in to pitch the last out in the top of the 9th. The Phillies could not come back to win, but they did have some bright spots in this game, I will not lie. Andrew McCutchen was 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Hoskins was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Harper was 0 for 4. His average is dropping. He's now back in the 2s. 290 is his average on the season, but he still has a 1.009 OPS, which is still the best on the team, still top 10 in the MLB. Can't really complain what Harper's doing. He was robbed a lot this series, and, I'm not making an excuse for him, but he has had some pretty solid contact on the bat, and it just keeps finding Acuna's glove, and it keeps finding other people's gloves. Real Muto was 1 for 4. Gene has been hitting a lot better, and so has Rhys Hoskins, bringing his average up to 250 and Segura's average to 256, hitting 3 for 5 yesterday with 1 RBI. Gregorius had 3 RBIs. I know he had a home run and a triple. He's batting 284, can't really complain. Gosselin has cooled all the way down. He was 0 for 4 yesterday with 2 strikeouts. He's now batting 327, but he doesn't get the same amount of at-bats. And he also did have an RBI. So, Kingery, 0 for 4. Kingery also today went on the IL with a back soreness. But Ranger Suarez and Jay Bruce were now reinstated from the IL. And Reggie McClain and somebody else were now brought back down. And Roman Quinn, 3 hits, 4 at-bats, 1 RBI. He scored twice. Gregorius scored twice, Segura scored once, JT scored once, and then Rhys and McCutchen scored twice. McCutchen actually hitting is huge for this team. He's now batting 280 with a 752 OPS. He's not nearly obviously he is not struggling nearly as much as he was in the beginning, and neither is Rhys and Segura. We need those guys in order to make the playoffs. We are sitting at 14 and 15. We are tied for second place in the NL East, but technically the Marlins own the tiebreaker because they beat us 2-1 earlier in the season. We play the Nationals tonight with Spencer Howard on the mound. Jake Arrieta got the loss yesterday, but, what are you really going to do? I mean, you allowed 7 runs, and it was an awful inning. Probably the worst inning of baseball that I've ever seen him pitch. And, we actually almost came back. We gave him a fight, but what are you going to do? You can't do much when you're down 10-0. I mean, we had 15 hits, and we lost, or my bad. We had 13 hits, and we lost this game. We did have an error, but, Arrieta has to be better. If he's going to be our third guy in the rotation or our fourth guy in the rotation, he has to be better. We cannot have a guy that is making the money that he makes go out there and just be terrible. Now, he has been decent all season. It was his worst start of his career and his lowest. Like, his quickest in and out of the game. He only pitched 1 1/3. He got 4 outs before getting yanked from this one. But, I mean, it was just not his night. You're not going to be able to get it done. The bullpen, though, I mean, they only allow, besides Hale, they only allowed 2 runs. I'm not complaining about that. The bullpen has looked a lot better, and I cannot complain with that. Clentek has done a good job of getting these veteran, been in the postseason type of guys like Hale, like Hembree, like bringing Parker up, like Morgan, who has not been in the playoffs, but Hale, Hembree, Workman, and today we make another move. It's the trade deadline. 15 minutes before the deadline, the Phillies signed David Phelps, or trade for David Phelps from the Brewers. We traded 3 low prospects. Weren't going to do anything with us. They're all 19. But, I mean, you're getting more guys in this bullpen. You're getting guys like David Phelps, Hale, Hembree, Workman, that have pitched in playoff games. And that's big because, Morgan and Hunter and, guys like that, Romero, McLean, Parker, I don't even know. You're getting guys that have stepped up in big moments, that have been on winning teams. Workman and Hembree were both on the Red Sox. Hale was in a winning organization with the Yankees. They know how to win games. They know how to close out games. Hale didn't have the best of, go-arounds yesterday, but it was his first innings pitched with the Phillies, and he's been on the team now for like 2 weeks. Hembree and Workman, I don't know why I keep wanting to call him Blackman because of Charlie Blackman, but Workman, they have done a solid job. After Workman's first outing with the Phils, we lost the game. I don't even remember who we played. I think it was like the Blue Jays, and he just choked the game away. And I was like, oh, here we go again. Even though, we have new bullpen guys, it's going to be the same thing. It's just never going to change. But since that day with the doubleheader with the Blue Jays where we lost both, we have done a lot better. We lost 1 game last week. We were 5-1. How can you complain about that? The bullpen had like an under 2 ERA or a 2 ERA or something like that. And now you get another guy in, what's his face? Phelps, who has a 2.77 ERA and a 13.5 innings pitched. It's another guy. It's another arm in that bullpen. Because do you really want Vince Velasquez in that pen? Do you? Do you really want, guys like Reggie McLean or, De Los Santos? But you also bring back Ranger Suarez. That's another guy you can bring into the bullpen. You're getting guys back. David Robertson did have some complications, so he will not be back this season. But, you have options with Hembree, with Parker, with Morgan, with Hunter, with Hale, with Workman, now with Phelps, with Suarez. I don't mind those guys. You can't. Because, we came into the offseason or into the season with little to nothing, and we lost a ton of games because of it. The Phillies bullpen was awful. It was almost unwatchable when the Phillies bullpen stepped up into the game. And they have done a lot better, and it shows because look at the record within these last 2 weeks. I mean, we are winning games. We are winning games late. We are closing them out. We just went into extra innings with the Braves that went 11 or 12 innings, and we kept them to no runs with a man starting on second. You cannot tell me that earlier in the season, if the same thing happened, they weren't scoring off of the first pitch. Can't tell me that wasn't going to happen because our bullpen was unwatchable. But now we have, redone all of it. We have reorganized it all. And I give Clentek props, and I do not like Matt Clentek at all. and I think he should be fired. But can't hate on the guy for doing his job, for getting new guys into this bullpen, good serviceable guys that can now actually play baseball into this bullpen. And I can't complain. We're 14-15. I wanted to be 500 by the end of the week, at least hit 500, and we did. And it sucks we lost yesterday, but what are you gonna do? We played the Nationals tonight. We would have swept them last week. Maybe not would have swept them. We were playing Scherzer, but we beat them 2 times last week. We got to keep the things going. We got to keep the streak. Even though it was broke yesterday, we got to start a new one. You have to pick your guys up. You have to be able to do the things that good teams do, and that's win games. Yeah, you're not going to win 11 in a row in a 60-game season. That's almost unheard of. You're playing too much. You are using the bullpen a lot more different ways. You got a DH now. It's just not going to happen. If it does, great. That's probably like a 40-game win streak in a 162-game season. Because a 6-game would have been a 13-win streak. But the Phillies lose yesterday, but other than the second inning, it was a solid game. We would have won no matter what if that second inning never happened. But it did. What are you going to do? We play the Nationals tonight. Spencer Howard is on the mound. Don't know the lineups. I did not see them before I started. Scott Kingery goes to the IL with back soreness. Jay Bruce and Ranger Suarez come up. The Phillies made a trade for David Phelps of the Milwaukee Brewers. He will now join Workman, Hembry, and Hale as the newest acquisitions for the Phillies bullpen. Hopefully we can get these games still going. Hopefully we can still string some wins together. And hopefully I see you guys in the playoffs, because I still believe that the Phillies will make the playoffs. I'm 100. I've been with that statement since the season has started. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out. Peace.